Hi everyone. As I promised in my last video, this is going to be part one of my notebooks tour. I'm really excited to show you guys all of my beautiful notebooks, many of which are from Peter Pauper Press. And obviously I'll put a link down in the description box to both Peter Pauper Press and the other websites where you can find the notebooks down at the bottom. And I also took down the sizes of them. The first three are 5x7. That's obviously, I believe, yeah, that is the smallest size of notebook which they carry. And then the second three are 6 1/4 by 8 1/4, and the final five are 7 1/4 by 9. And guess what? Surprise, surprise! I currently own 11 Peter Pauper Press notebooks. 11 is my lucky number and my favorite number, so that's like perfect hashgacha pratit, divine providence. Although I do obviously plan to get many more Peter Pauper notebooks in future, and I did keep the stickers they came with just to have the names of the journals and the quotes they come with and stuff. And this is the first one. It's so cute. I absolutely love cats. The quote they wrote down for that one is one cat just leads to another by Ernest Hemingway. I'm not really fond of Hemingway's novels, to put it mildly, but I have enjoyed his short stories, and obviously you can't argue with that quote about cats. Once you start taking care of them and adopting them, it's they just keep coming into your life. And I'm currently maybe I'll obviously when I fill up with that use, I'll use it for something else, but I'm currently using it for notes for the third and fourth books in my Atlantic City prequel series for the Radical Rewrite. I actually wrote the first drafts many years ago, over 20 years ago actually, but obviously I'm taking them in a much different direction now, and so it's basically just basic chapter by chapter notes, creating new chapters, adding stuff to existing chapters, moving stuff around, notes about the fictional Van Meter Plaza and their fictional neighborhood, which is very strongly based on Stuyvesant Plaza back home in Albany, New York, and things like Russian Orthodox mourning customs, words to put in the glossary for religious terms, and just foreign foods and stuff like that. And there's a body art forms sticker in there. I absolutely love body art forms. I've got way more body jewelry than you should probably care about from that website. I totally do recommend them. And of course they have this thing on the back so you can pull that across the pages to just mark your place instead of putting a sticker in there. And the second one, this is the Peacock Journal, and that quote is, "I write to discover what I know," by Flannery O'Connor. And this one I am using for my notes about my hiatus, but hopefully we'll be getting back to, maybe hopefully next year, my hiatus alternative history about Dante and Beatrice. And it's just basically lots and lots of notes about Dante's life, the people he knew, many different topics in the Middle Ages, for example the 12 days of Christmas, what exactly they did on each day, and particularly local Italian customs and the types of food they ate in the Middle Ages, by what course, and the different social classes, what they would have eaten, and the clothing people wore, and just general things like that. And obviously I do need to fill it up with many more topics about Dante's life in the Middle Ages, because that's just not something I know off the top of my head. When I'm writing about pretty much anything in the 20th century or the late 19th century, or even some of the 18th century. And this is the next one is it's the Constellations Journal. A sky as pure as water bathed the stars and brought them out. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that name too badly, and I haven't written in this one yet, but I got it so I could, I'm sorry, I'm holding it in place with the little note, but obviously the bookmark, but obviously you can see what it is. And I got this because I just love constellations. I love both astronomy and astrology, as I've mentioned in many prior videos. And let's see, where is mine? Well, obviously you're more than just your sun sign, contrary to what many naysayers insist. There's so many different planets in your chart, and the rising and the ascendant sign, and some even count minor planets, and there's the moon and stuff like that. But my sun sign is Sagittarius, where it's right here, on the kind of the corner, the arch, or the horse. And I got that for doing my Latin exercises in Familia Romana. Let's see, which is it right here? Yeah, this is Lingua Latina Familia Romana by Hans Urberg, which is an absolute classic of foreign language instruction. One of the greatest regrets of my life is I never studied Latin. I was scheduled to take it starting my junior year of high school, but unfortunately my family moved and the new high school didn't have Latin, and I just really felt cheated. But this is absolutely wonderful book, and it has It's like every single word except the title page is written in Latin, but you're literally like fluently reading in Latin from the very first line because it's so obvious from the context and the photographs, and there's like some notes in the margins and stuff like that, and it's constantly building and building and building on what you already know. So it's just like a beautiful way to learn a language through immersion. At the end of each section, they have, like fill in the blanks or like put the correct declension on the end of a word, or like, asking you questions and things like that. Oh, and I'm speaking of astrology and astronomy. Here is the zodiac on the page, which I open to, and I do plan to do a future video about this awesome book. I highly recommend it, and maybe I can do a future video about, like foreign language instruction books and things like that. And these are now going to be the journals, which are, let me get down, 6 1/4 by 8 1/4. This video is completely unscripted, by the way, and this is, I haven't written in this one yet, but I just had to get it when I saw it again. The beautiful, beautiful cosmology, and my favorite color is purple, although like dark and medium blue is, like my second favorite color, really giving purple a run for its money. And I got this one to make notes for when I finally start transcribing my magnum opus cinnamon, which has been 99% handwritten since I first, well, actually technically I started it in 1991, but then I was kind of like thwarted, and those pages were like, ripped out of the notebook and thrown away, and I finally started like properly on the 3rd of October 1993. So the 30th anniversary is going to be tomorrow already. I can't believe it's been that long already, but I unfortunately had a long, break of working on it for like, over 10 years, but I finally got back to it for Camp July NaNoWriMo. I skipped ahead like 3 years from October of 1998 to September of 2001, and I really feel that was like, the kick in the pants to get my writing mojo regained for this book, which means so much to me. And so anyway, this is what I'm going to be using to make notes, because it definitely needs a radical rewrite for it, particularly I call each decade a saga. So the 1940s is like Saga 1, the 50s Saga 2, and the 60s Saga 3, the 70s Saga 4. Those well, obviously as it goes on and I got older and more mature and a better writer as I was working on over all these years, it did, get better, but definitely those, like the first 4 sagas, need the most work. And then when I got to like sagas 5 and 6, the 80s and 90s, I was obviously getting older, and I was like writing about people of my own generation. So, and obviously because just, become a better writer when you're writing for longer of your life, and just learning how to edit and what you should and shouldn't do, and just forming a more personal relationship with the characters, it gets better. But obviously I will definitely need to put by far the most notes in this for the 1940s until like the 1970s. And so this is the next one, which I also have not written in this one yet. So that's just the notebooks falling on the floor. Put them back up here. This is called oh, I'm sorry, did I read off the cosmology journal? Is different. That was called the Galaxy Journal. Oh, and I already read. Oh, this also has the same quote from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. I believe he wrote the Little Prince. And this is the Lemur Palooza Journal. This is like really, really cute. Which one did I read down? Here it is. You may say I'm a lemur, but I'm not the only one. Dream on, write on. And I haven't written in this one, as I mentioned, yet, but I really like the gold, and monkeys are really, really cool. And I got this for making notes for when I go to start doing the radical rewrites of the books completed to date, and some hiatus works in progress of my spin-off series from my Atlantic City books. They have the same characters. Sometimes they have, like the same situations, but it's focused more on my character Max and his family, with my character Kit and her family in the secondary roles. The original title, which I came up with when I created it when I was like 11 years old, was Maxwell House. Obviously I don't want to get sued, so I decided like don't keep that name, and then I like somewhere along the line just renamed it Max's House. But I thought maybe that's still a bit too close, and like, Max isn't the only character, and that sounds kind of like corny and cliche, like maybe like smacking of like the early 90s or something like that, not very original. So I guess like a few years ago or so, I decided to rename this series the Saga of the Sewards, and it takes place from June of 1941 until sometime in 1970, and I'm really, really looking forward to starting to fill this up with notes when I start to go back to that series. Like, also a project of my heart. My Atlantic City characters, I believe, are the characters I was born to write, and I haven't written in this one yet either. These are sea turtles. You can't use up creativity. The More You Use, the More You Have by Maya Angelou. And my parents got me this for Hanukkah a couple of years ago. I absolutely love turtles. They're one of my two spirit animals, the other being the spider. I don't not currently wearing it, but one of my earrings actually you can wear it in any part of your body. They're not technically earrings. They're just, we call them like threadless ends in the current body modification community. It's a little white gold turtle, and I was wearing it in my tragus for a while, and then I moved it to like my different places in my earlobes. I'm really looking forward to wearing my cute little turtle again, because like turtles are so lucky for me, and I just love them and everything they represent, and I just really like relate to them constantly, like seeing them in my life. This is the absolutely beautiful cosmology journal, which I could not resist, and it is the first of my 5 oversized, largest size possible Peter Pauper Press notebooks. Cover art from the Catalan Atlas, 1375, by Abraham Cresques, Spain. Features Earth in the center, personified by an astronomer. Concentric circles represent the 4 elements, the 7 planets as they were known at that time. We did not yet know about Neptune and Pluto, which I will consider a planet until the day I die. Sorry, not sorry. The zodiac and the moon phases, with the 4 seasons in the corners. And if you watch my video about Empyrean, about Paradiso and the Divine Comedy, you may have remembered me holding this up. That was like the main reason I got it, besides obviously the Middle Ages, which I love, and the absolutely beautiful gold, because it's like, and here's the yes, it's the same thing on the back, and you can kind of see the spine is a little bit different, and you can see like words from an illuminated manuscript from the Atlas up at the top and the bottom of it, because Dante and Beatrice are going through all the different circles and the planets of Paradiso in the last canticle of the Commedia, and that just like reminded me of him, like seeing all these like lovely circles and the different planets, and like just really a gorgeous Dantean connection. I cannot say enough about how much I absolutely love Dante. I do have a whole playlist called All About Dante and the Divine Comedy, and these are the last 4 journals which I recently got. Let me just pull up where I had right here. These are like writing samples I did for a recent video, which is not yet posted, like showing off some of my beautiful new fountain pens and inks. This is I believe, which is the Timeless Tree Journal. Has or is this the Tree of, yeah, this is the Tree of Dreams, because several of them have trees on them, but I didn't remember which ones they are, and I'm going to be, well, and this isn't the one I'm going to start with. I'll obviously show you when I get to it for my handwritten magnum opus cinnamon, although maybe I'll use them for journals, like you never know. So this is called the Tree of Dreams. To the eyes of the man of imagination, nature is imagination itself, by William Blake. And I do have still have a future video planned about William Blake's watercolor illustrations of the Divine Comedy. I have not forgotten about continuing my hiatus series about illustrations for the Commedia, and I just absolutely love this. And particularly I was drawn to it because a lot of the like auto-hypnosis meditations you do for like accessing your past lives and the Akashic records and the reincarnation, you're like imagining a tree, walking towards a tree, and like going into the tree, and like walking down the steps, or just like imagining the tree roots anchoring you to the earth as you're doing your relaxation to get into the auto-hypnosis state. But obviously that's a whole topic for a whole other video, and I just absolutely love the tree imagery, and I obviously could not resist. This is the Persian Mosaic Journal. I couldn't resist this one either, because I absolutely love Persian and Iranian history and culture, although obviously of course not what they've been doing to the country since like the mullahs took over in 1979. I have very fond memories of my family's Iranian friends when I was growing up in the 80s and the early 1990s until they moved to Boston. But I did get back in touch with the son, who is my age, on Facebook some years ago, and he's doing very well. And look at these beautiful mosaics. And I saw it was from Isfahan. I absolutely love that city. Like that's the city which is the one of the Iranian setting in my third Russian historical Journey Through a Dark Forest. Some of the characters from the Soviet Union, they escaped to Iran during the Great Terror in 1937, and it's just absolutely a beautiful, lovely, historic city. I did this year's blogging from A to Z April on my main blog, was all about Persian and Iranian history and culture, and my names blog featured Persian names. And so this is called the Persian Mosaic Journal. This journal's cover offers a glimpse of the world-famous Royal Mosque of Isfahan, a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a crown jewel of Persian architecture. Now, did I mention all these oversized journals have 192 pages, and All of the books pages are 120 GSM. I don't know off the top of my head what that stands for. I know that's something to do with the paper absorbency. I'm sorry, I just realized I made a really embarrassing mistake. This is not the Tree of Dreams journal. This is the Heart of the Tree journal. I should have realized that by the heart shape in the middle of the tree. And the quote for that one, they didn't do a quote, they just say, fantasy artist Josephine Wall depicts a surreal and mystical world in Heart of the Tree, a portal to an idyllic world. And this one coming up, I know that because of the gears and stuff, this is the Timeless Tree journal. Originally titled Inner Workings, Stephanie Law's cover art combines the intricately beautiful rules of physics with the wonder of living, breathing nature. And isn't this just absolutely so beautiful? I love, the combination of technology with, like classic nature and the trees and just the beautiful, like you can see like golding or a gold leaf or whatever like that, and just a plain spine. And this is the last one. I'm pretty sure this one is the Tree of Dreams with the William Blake quote, and I will be using this one to start my NaNoWriMo project. I will be writing by hand for the very first time I've participated in Nano. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I mean, of course, I could change my mind at the last minute and decide to like type like I always do, but I'm really looking forward and excited and nervous about getting back to my roots by like writing first drafts by hand, with particularly my magnum opus Cinnamon. It's going to be right after what I worked on for Camp July NaNoWriMo, so it'll be like set from the 12th of September 2001 to tentatively the 25th of June 2002, and it is that part of the book is entitled Rising from the Rubble, for reasons you could probably guess from the starting date given. I just absolutely love this, and it's just like beautiful symbolism of like starting over, and it begins in the autumn and the tree like grounding you to the roots, and like there's so many beautiful stories of like trees surviving like terrorist attacks and natural disasters and bombings despite everything. So that's just like a wonderful, beautiful, like couldn't be more perfect symbol of hope for that project. Now I think I may have remembered getting this book at Barnes and Noble at the Colony store back home in the capital region of Albany, New York, but I might have also gotten it at Target, but I'm leaning towards Barnes and Noble because I do remember they had some beautiful tables and shelves with these absolutely gorgeous notebooks, particularly ones on sale. Haven't filled this one up yet. I think I was planning to use this for the beginning of Saga 7, the 2000s of Cinnamon, but obviously like it just depends like when I get to that part of the book. And this is this notebook on hand, and this is from Carolina or carolinapad.com. I looked it up online. It says like, peace out. Hey baby, I hope you dig this totally far out collection. Peace out, man. Signature collection by Jacqueline Savage McPhee. So hopefully she's still like making notebooks. And this is one of the reasons I love notebooks, because it's not just like plain, boring, basic colors on the front. You can get like all these gorgeous designs nowadays, and so obviously that just makes me happy and inspires me to want to write in them. And like, why would I want to write on the computer? I mean, obviously you have to transcribe and edit at some point after you finish the first draft written by hand, but like before you get to that point, it just like inspires you to want to keep writing because it's so beautiful. And this is the long height. I know there's water damage at the bottom. My ex told me President Obama was speaking at SUNY Albany at the Nanotech Center, and I basically like stood out in the rain with a bunch of other people. Of course, my ex wasn't there with me. He just said, "Oh, the president is speaking, and you love the president, and so just go to like get tickets to." Well, obviously, the cops wisely told us we couldn't go in to see him because we didn't have tickets or security clearance in advance, like all the other people who were invited to his talk. And so I just basically stood out in the rain all that time, like getting the water damage on the notebook. And of course my ex, he was like, "Oh, just go out there and do it." He told me, but obviously our dysfunctional relationship is a story for another time, but I couldn't resist the cute kitten. And this is like has been on hiatus for so many years now. This was, I believe, part 56, called Crossing the Point of No Return, and it starts, I believe, on the October 24th of 1998, and I guess it's just going to go through sometime in the autumn, maybe through like Hanukkah of 1998. Well, obviously we'll see like what point it is by the time the notebook wraps up. And I obviously again couldn't not resist the cute kitten, and the water damage wasn't too bad. It's just like cheap ballpoint pens I was writing in with to that point. And this is absolutely beautiful. I'm pretty sure I also got this at Barnes & Noble. They really knock it out of the park with beautiful, gorgeous notebooks and making people want to write. This is again Studio C by the same one I got from the one with flowers. So maybe, yeah, they both probably did come from Barnes and Noble. And this is, again, oh, Carolina Pad or Carolina Pad. So yeah, I was right. And this is called Zensational, because it's kind of like a Zentangle thing. And I guess I was planning to use this again for the remaining years of Saga 6 of Cinnamon, the late 1990s, and it looks like it's college ruled, maybe. It's been so long. Obviously, well, I do write in a journal, but I'm pretty sure this looks more like I'm college ruled than I'm wide ruled. I definitely prefer college ruled because I have, smaller, more delicate handwriting. I don't like, big, gigantic, like, letters taking up the entire page, and this is so beautiful. I plan to use this one for the very end of Saga 6, Requiem for a School, and like the final part of the book. So obviously this looks like you could even like fit a novella length book in here, but I have written in longer notebooks before, like, like over 100 pages and stuff. It just depends like how much time is passing in the story and like how many different like storylines there are. But definitely I think this could hopefully fill up the the final like year or so of Saga 6. And let's see, this is just, yeah, made in Taiwan for Barnes and Noble, so I just couldn't resist this. Maybe it really was on the like discount shelf. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider leaving a comment. I love having conversations with you guys. Let me know what your favorite notebook was, or if you would be interested in purchasing any of these notebooks, or what your own favorite notebooks in your collections are, or if you like writing by hand or that sort of thing. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.